All right, welcome to FE Mechanical Prep. This is Dr. Mike Reynolds, and we are in the fall 2022 semester. We have one goal for this course, and it's simple. We want you to pass the FE Mechanical exam, all right? And so that is the first step towards getting a license, should you choose to do that. The beautiful thing about passing the FE Mechanical is that you will have that for the rest of your life. So if you want to get a license later, then you can do that because you've already passed the FE Mechanical exam. If you wait and you don't pass it and you do it later, you're likely to forget a lot of the content that's on the exam. So that's why we're here now. Now, you're already in the class, so you know that that's the goal, all right, is to pass that exam. So I'm going to get into some of the particulars of the class, but what I want to first do is talk about a few other things. The biggest thing is how to pass the class, okay? This is the biggest confusion. I'm going to go through the syllabus. I'm going to talk about some other details, but this is the biggest confusion on this course for students is, well, how do I pass the class, okay? If you pass the FE exam, all you need to do is get a 50% average on the 8 quizzes, and that counts all 8 quizzes. So you have to take them all, or I guess if you got like 100% on 7 of them, you could get a 0 on the 8th, and it wouldn't matter, right? But you have to get a 50% average on all 8 quizzes, and that should be pretty easy for you to do if you pass the FE exam. Now, if you fail the FE exam, you need to do all these things. You need to get a 60% average on the quizzes. You need to get a 60% or better on the final exam. And you need to submit evidence of a second FE exam registration. So it's much easier if you pass the FE. If you pass the FE, all you have to do is get a 50% average on the 8 quizzes. That should be easy. This is harder. You got to get a 60% average on all the quizzes. You got a 60% better on the final, and you need to submit evidence of a second FE exam, okay? So that's the key thing, because that's usually the one thing students get confused about. Now that I've done this class a few times, they want to know how to pass the class, okay? The key is pass the FE exam. That'd be the easiest, because then you don't need to do much more, just get 50% average. If you fail it, then you got to do all those 1, 2, 3. Now, here's kind of the bad news. In the spring of 2022, we had 18 students take the class. 6 passed, 12 failed. That was really disappointing to me. And unfortunately, I did not have the data on that yet as far as why the students failed and what areas they failed in. But we had 18 students, and that's what happened. So then we went into the summer, and I wasn't really able to modify the course because I didn't have the data yet this summer. So we went into the summer, and we had 6 students, 2 passed, 4 failed. So you'll notice it's the same trend, right? It's exactly the same trend. 18 students, 6 passed, 12 failed. 1/3 of the students are passing, and that's not good. Obviously, we need to do a lot better job. Now, this is passing the FE exam, not passing the course, right? I'm not talking about passing the course. I'm talking about passing the FE exam, okay? So a lot of these students who failed were able to pass the course, again, by doing 1, 2, 3. 60% average on quizzes, 60% or better on the final, and submit evidence of a second FE. So they were able to pass the course, but they were still failing the exam, and that's not good. So finally this summer, it was in July, it's only about a month and a half ago, I finally started getting some data. I'm finally starting to get some data on where are the weaknesses of our students at UWF, where are the weaknesses? So I'm going to show you some data, some inside data. Not a lot of students get to see this, okay? This is from the spring, okay? I don't have summer data yet. They give me data only every 6 months. So this is students who took the FE exam from January to June of 2022, all right? And so this is about 20 students, the data from 20 students at UWF. Note what I've shown on the right. The biggest areas of weakness, 1, 2, 3, the biggest areas of weakness are heat transfer, fluid mechanics, and engineering economics. Okay, those are the biggest areas of weakness. But we have weakness across the board if you look at it. Because if you look at that right column there, if you look at the right column, you'll notice on this right column, almost all of them are negative. That means that's less than the national average. Only a couple of them did our students beat the national average. And a couple of them aren't too bad. Like math's not too bad. Mechanics and materials is not too bad. Those aren't a big deal. But what we see is some real weaknesses in heat transfer and fluid mechanics, which in some ways I'm not surprised because we do not have a separate heat transfer and a separate fluid mechanics course. We combine them. So I think this shows maybe some weaknesses in the program, right? So what we're going to try to do is address some of this, and I want to help you this fall. Those of you who are in the class, I want to make some changes to the course. Okay, so new, what we're going to try to do is a couple things. One, we're going to try to add practice problems, and not every area, but we're going to add some practice problems in what we call some key areas, probably about 5 or 6 key areas that I see major weaknesses. And again, the major weaknesses are the ones that have lower negative numbers here, like heat transfer, fluid mechanics, engineering economics, maybe some dynamics, kinematics stuff as well. Maybe something else in there as well. We'll see. But there's some key practice problems in key areas, okay? And practice meaning you'll see the solution. And we're going to add some video content. Some of the students have told me that they didn't feel like there was enough content in the heat transfer and in the fluids. And so we're going to work on adding some stuff, okay? So it's going to take some time for both of those. You will see the practice problems sooner, probably in the next week or two. The videos may take a few more weeks, but the videos that will be added are going to be in the latter portion of the content, okay? So how do you approach this class? Let me go ahead and get to the course webpage here. This is the Canvas page. And so let's talk a little bit about this. I'm going to put it on student view so you can kind of see what it looks like for you. Oh, and you know what? I noticed that you're not seeing that one thing, are you? Okay. Hold on a second here. Let me do this. So, oh yeah, we got to put that on there. Good. Okay. Now you'll see it. Okay. So, here we go. So, first thing you'll notice here is it says upload your registration information here. So what I want you to do is I want you to go and register for the actual exam. So where do you go to do that? Well, you can go to ncees.org. You can go here. And what you want to do is you want to make an account. Okay, you'll want to make an account here and as a customer, and you'll log in, and you can then go right here. See, I've already done this, so because I passed it. You can register for an exam, and then you have to complete the contact information, the education information, and all that. But you can go in there and register for an exam right there on NCEES. Again, that's where you're going to start. You're going to make an account, and you're going to register for the exam. By the way, you do have to pay for the exam, okay? I think it's $175, so unfortunately not cheap. But I think it's worth it. It's worth it in the long run to be able to pass this exam. So ncees.org, this is where you want to go. Just Google NCEES, and you will see National Council for Examiners of Engineering and Surveying, okay? So you want to go there, you want to register. So when you register, I want you to upload your registration information here. I want to be able to see, you'll get like an email, you can screenshot it and upload it. But I want to see where and when you're registered, okay? I want to see where and when you're registered, when you confirm your registration, okay? Where and when. So you can, where and when are you registered for the FE exam? Now, so the question is, when should you register? I would suggest you register for November, okay? I would not register for October. I would register for November. You could also register for early December. Try to avoid the finals, okay? You definitely need to register before December, well, probably December 2nd is the last day you can register, okay? So, and by the way, I'll send you that in an email too. December 2nd is probably the latest you could register. I would register like early to mid-November. Okay, that's probably what I would pick. But it's up to you. You can register for late October. That's fine too, or mid-October, or whatever. Okay, so when you register for the FE exam, and again, you're going to do that here, NCEES. You do that on your own. When you register, upload your registration information right there. Okay. Now, after you hopefully pass, but if you pass or fail the FE exam, it takes a week to get the results, by the way. After you wait a week, you will get what's called a verifiable link. Okay? I want you to upload your verifiable link right there. Okay? Pass or fail, because I keep track of that. So you'll get a verifiable link. In fact, if you can take a look here, if you look at mine, this is what mine looks like. It has my picture, it has the exam, it says, oh, this is when I took the exam and I passed it. There you go. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. And you'll get that verifiable link about a week after you take the exam. All right. So the next thing is the formula book. This is super important right here. The FE reference book. Now it's big. You should want it. It's 500 pages. You will want to download this. Okay? Download this and keep this with you for everything. Okay? Because this reference handbook is what you will have when you take the FE exam. You will have, when you take the FE exam, you'll have a split screen. On the left side will be this reference book, and the right side will be the questions. Okay? Left side reference, right side questions. So you want to get to know this reference book because it's going to look exactly this when you get to the exam. So I would recommend that when you're taking the quizzes, when you are working on anything in this class, use the reference book all the time, no exceptions. Okay, so a couple more things. Let's go through the syllabus real quick, talk about a couple more things. Let me do this, download this, bring it up here. Okay, so a couple things on the syllabus. Certainly my information, my email's right there. This is online asynchronous, all right? You set the pace in this exam, okay, for this class. You set the pace. And this here talks about how you get if you pass or not. Again, this is exactly what I told you, okay? This is exactly what I told you how to pass the class, okay? The course is graded, by the way, SU, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, okay? And then the rest of this is pretty straightforward stuff, okay? Regular stuff. But the key thing here that you need to know is here's all the quizzes that you have right here. These quizzes are part of the class and basically provide you a very mini look at what an FE exam may look like. Okay, so one of the things that you have to do in this class is take the quizzes. All right, and some of them are 15 questions, some of them are 10 questions. Notice that. Some are 15, some of them are 10, and you'll notice the due dates. I have the first 4 due October 14th. Okay, a lot of students said, give me due dates. I would suggest you try to get these done before October 14th, but you know, that's the due dates. And then the next ones are due November 11th. I would suggest you do these before November 11th and get these all done. Each one of these quizzes, you can click on one here and you'll notice that it tells you your time limit, 150 minutes. Some of them I think have a little bit less. Let's see here. If it's 10 questions, it's 120 minutes. So, but we try to give you plenty of time. This is a great practice, okay? When I took the FE mechanical exam in January, I tried to write down everything I saw. And I tried to base all these questions off exactly what I saw when I took the exam, okay? So that's what I try to do, so give you these quizzes as kind of work. So basically how I would suggest you do the course is this, all right? Start with block 1, mathematics. Watch the videos in mathematics, and when you're ready, take the math quiz. Give yourself, an hour or a couple hours and take the math quiz, okay? Also, then do the same thing. Go the next week, maybe do this once per week, and go to ethics. I think probably in stats on the math quiz too, so you want to do both those. And then ethics, and then engineering econ. review those, and then take it, the second quiz, Ethics and Engineering Economics. By the way, the quiz schedule is on here too, what I call quiz schedule. It shows you kind of how I combine them. So quiz 1, math and statistics. So study those, then take the quiz. Quiz 2, ethics and engineering econ. Study those, take the quiz. Study electricity and magnetism, take the quiz. And all these. So, and the one thing I'm going to add that I'm new this fall is I'm going to add some practice problems in a lot of these areas. Okay, and so I'll let you know when they're added. I'll give you an email, but there'll be some additional practice problems added in each one of those areas to give you a little bit more time. And they're just practice problems. You can work them out on your own and then see the answers. Okay, and then you can work on those before you do the quizzes. There won't be any practice problems for the first set of math and statistics, mainly because students have been doing pretty well in that. And I think there's enough information there. Students are doing pretty well in math stat. Actually, they're doing pretty well in ethics as well, but I think I'm going to post some practice problems with engineering economics, and then probably a few in some of these other areas as well. Just some more practice problems to help you, okay? So again, what do? Week by week, you watch videos. So I would probably start next week and make sure you watch the math and prob stat and get that quiz done. And then the next week do ethics and professional practice and economics, get that quiz done, and then just keep marching through using that quiz schedule as kind of your guide. So you want to get through the first 4 quizzes by the middle of October, but really if you can do that in the next month, that would be better. Okay, in the month of September, it'd be really great to get through each one of these week by week by week. Okay, that'd probably be good. Try to do each one of these every week. That would be a good schedule to keep on. Because really, once you are ready to take the FE, you want to have all those done, right? You want to have all the quizzes done before you take the FE. And then what I'd recommend that you do before you take the FE is that you take the sample final exam. The sample final exam is 50 questions, okay? And it's a good practice before you go and take the actual FE exam is I kind of have a final exam. Now, you don't have to take it, because if you pass the FE, you don't have to take my sample final exam, but you might want to just as a practice before you go into the actual FE exam, okay? So this is definitely something that I think will help prepare you, and like I said, I'm adding a few more things that I think will be good, some practice problems I'll email you, and some videos, okay? So again, what do you need to be doing? First thing is schedule your exam. Get it scheduled. Okay, do that right away. Don't wait. Do not wait. Times fill up. Okay. The good news is now you can take the exam in Pensacola. Okay, so you can take the exam in Pensacola. That's great news. So for those of you who live around here, very great, very great. And but sign up soon because it takes a while to get a spot. Okay. So your first spot available might be a month away. Okay, so remember that. But first step, sign up for the exam and then upload your exam registration. The second step is to start watching the videos. I would watch 1 and 2 first, and then get ready to take quiz 1 and 2, quiz 1, and then start working each quiz and watch each and that stuff. And make sure you get through about 4 quizzes by early October, no later than the 14th. And then get through the rest of the quizzes by November 11th. Honestly, I put these dates out a little far. You should definitely not go past this, okay? In fact, I think if you could get all this done before November 1st would be even better. But again, it all depends on when you sign up for the FE exam, because if you sign up for it earlier, well, then you're going to want to move through this stuff faster. If you don't sign up until late November, then you've got a little more time, okay, to move through the stuff, right? And so all the information's there. There's lots of videos. There's lots of work here. And I'm going to be adding practice problems in here. And a few videos are going to be added. I'm going to try to add a video into fluid mechanics and a video into heat transfer at minimum. I'm going to add a couple more videos in there, trying to give students a little more help there. And hopefully the things that you need to do well. A couple more things I want to mention here is this is important too. Yeah, the README, there's some key information. Basically, it just talks about calculators, Okay, the exam only allows specific calculators. So I would go ahead if I were you and buy one of the calculators that's allowed, okay? Because you want to get this going early so you don't have to scramble at the end, right? So, and recognize that the real test is 110 questions and it's 5 hours and 20 minutes. So it's very long. You are allowed a 25-minute break as well. And so there's a lot of stuff on this. When you're preparing to go to this exam, make sure you get good sleep the night before, okay? Try to clear out your whole day. Don't be rushing to this exam and rushing out, okay? I talked to a lot of students that really regretted not clearing their schedules so that they could have a clear day, okay? Try to clear everything. Clear it as much as possible, okay? Get a good night's sleep because you don't want to be rushing through this test. You want to get in there, plenty of sleep, plenty of rest, have plenty of time, and do it, okay? And that's really, really important, okay? A couple more things. I I recorded a video right after I took the FE exam in January. So I would watch this a few weeks before you take your exam. I basically just walked through some things that I saw, you know. So just some thoughts on that. You can watch that, maybe before you take the exam. So just some comments on things again, things I saw on my exam, but again, your exam might be different. Okay, I've talked to some students that said the stuff that you were talking about wasn't on mine. Okay, it was something different. Okay, so that's why we're going to try to give you more practice problems and try to give you more help. Okay, so I'm hoping to make this a great experience for you. Hopefully, you're all going to pass. We're going to turn this around now that we're starting to get some data as far as where the weaknesses are. We're going to start working on correcting the weaknesses. And we're going to do that by adding some more practice problems and a little bit more videos coming soon. So I'll email you about that. I'll email you to specific things, a checklist, but that's about it, and let's have a great semester.